What is going on, my crazy 76er fanatics? Guys, thanks for stopping back in for another daily pod with your daily 76ers discourse and discussion. I want to thank all the watchers, all the commenters, all the likers, and the subscribers. Each one of you guys matter. Thank you for helping the conversation grow and helping this channel go. We appreciate all you guys helping us climb the subscription ladder, each view, each commenter, each watcher. You all matter, guys. But the most important thing in Philadelphia right now has got to be the health of this squad. How healthy is this team? Good news is Paul George and Joel Embiid seem to be healthier and more primed to play than the doctors even expected. Paul George and Joel Embiid have been rumored to be participating in a larger report of practice than Nick Nurse and their doctors expected at this point in their recovery, which is great news because you're getting two of the highest paid players, two of the highest impact players closer to being back on the court. Bad news is we still don't have a clear timetable for when either of these players will be regular season ready. But Paul George and Joel Embiid did participate in a 3-on-3 play, and you can find it on Instagram and Twitter that Paul George and Joel Embiid have been participating in the one-on-one challenges, which seems to be the one-on-one gauntlet, where Oubre, Maxey, Embiid, George, Edwards, they battle each other from the high post in the mid-range to see who can score more on another. The good news from those workouts, guys, Paul George is looking like smooth. He looked like he improved. His jump shot's looking silk. Paul George is looking like Paul George, guys. He's looking healthier and more ready for a bigger season than last year, which is great news for Sixer fans. The bad news is Joel Embiid and Paul George aren't the only injuries this team has to work through. You got to worry about former first-round pick Jared McCain, who tore something in his right thumb and had to get surgery on his shooting hand. Jared McCain, who I believe is going to be a high-impact player not only for this year, but for future years to come, went on to say about his timetable to return, I think I'm being reevaluated in 2 weeks. So I'll get this brace off, and then I'll have a playing brace and start passing, dribbling, and then we'll see from there when they let me play. Guys, Jared McCain not only has the upside, the highest upside of any player in this locker room, his want to be great, his work ethic to be great. Again, it fits right along with the Tyrese Maxey workout regimen and workout plan. I truthfully believe that Jared McCain, with the way he describes his injury, with the way he describes his work ethic, and the way he describes his basketball mindset, guys, Jared McCain reminds me of a young Steph Curry. And I mean that from his play style. I mean that from what Jared McCain emulates, who he mimics, and who he wants to be on the court with his play style. Jared McCain has even come out to say that he takes Steph's workouts. He takes Steph's pregame rituals, and he wants to be just like Steph on that court. A knockdown shooter. Someone who they may underestimate, but they have to over-anticipate, over-game plan for, and over-scheme for. Jared McCain, guys, has a ceiling of Steph, has the mindset to be the best, and has the work ethic to beat the rest. I would love if Jared McCain could be ready for the start of the season so you guys can see everything that we are preparing Jared McCain to be. And that's one of the greatest shooters in the NBA today. I'm telling you guys right here, right now, Paul George is going to be a great player. Joel Embiid is already an MVP. But what Jared McCain's upside could bring to this squad, that may be the most pressing injury and issue for this team because shooting in the NBA comes at a premium. And anyone in the NBA that can shoot at a high percentage is already looked at as one of the most lethal offensive players on the court. Jared McCain showed that his rookie season, and with the work ethic and the workouts he's been putting in the offseason, that jump shot has been rumored to only be getting better, only been getting a little more efficient, and he's only been getting a little more calmer, a little more pace with his finishing at the rim because now he's working with his left hand, guys. Apparently, while his right hand is injured, Jared McCain's not taking any days off, and he's putting in a lot of work to make sure that left hand, those left-handed finishes, are ready for the season. A player that won't be ready for the season, because we're still talking injuries, guys, Trendon Watford, Tyrese Maxey's closest friend on the squad, head coach Nick Nurse, who's been talking about Trendon Watford's hamstring injury he's been dealing with all summer long, said that Trendon did some introductory stuff in practice today. So I would imagine there's still a little ways to go before even get him out there in some live action. But Trendon Wofford was rumored to be in the conversation for the starting power forward position. And if you ask Tyrese Maxey, Trendon Wofford is exactly the player and the piece this team needs to be an on-ball dribbler, an on-ball distributor. He can potentially guard 1 through 4 as well. He can rebound, grab it off the glass. Trendon Wofford could be another missing piece for this team, especially for the forward depth, which in the Sixers locker room right now is not the best. Would love to see Trendon come back, guys. How healthy this squad is. The fact that you got your two juggernauts, Paul George and Joel Embiid, closer to the start, but you are missing some key pieces for the squad. Health is still a little shaky, but by the start of November, because McCain says he's expected to be reevaluated in 2 weeks, Trendon Wofford is trending towards being more ready to play and then needing more recovery. And that's the same story with Joel Embiid and Paul George. You got to say this team is getting healthier faster than we anticipated. And the best part about that, guys, is that the season starts in less than a week. These guys are looking ready to play. They're looking comfortable with one another. And the system and the scheme that Nick Nurse is putting in play, your rookie VJ Edgecombe is already picking up. Rumors are that VJ Edgecombe is NBA ready today in certain facets of his game. Now, offensively, VJ Edgecombe could use some work. With his jump shot, most rookies are going to need some time to develop a consistent catch-and-shoot jumper. But the things that VJ Edgecombe does well right now even surprised head coach Nick Nurse, who was the reason he was drafted. Sixers head coach Nick Nurse on what surprised him about VJ Edgecombe. How about getting over screens? He does that at an amazing level. You can screen him all day and maybe never get him off his man. He's been most impressed with his IQ. He learns something from the film one day and applies it immediately on the floor the next. That's something that not only Nick Nurse says is a skill of VJ Edgecombe, but Jared McCain even highlighted that VJ Edgecombe has that plug-and-play ability. Teach me today, I'll show you tomorrow. That I learned everything you were saying out there yesterday. VJ Edgecombe is picking up the defensive scheme easily. He's picking up how to navigate through screens easily. And when you have a guy with the athleticism of VJ Edgecombe, but is also as green and as new as VJ, offense is going to come to him. His offensive game is going to grow. You can look at Asar Thompson. You can look at Amen Thompson. Those guys were athletic freaks, defensive stoppers. And they found their roles, the more opportunity, and the more they played on ball. VJ Edgecombe is going to be a great player, and offensively, he will provide this team a spark, potentially would be a starter for the squad. Just got to give him time. Don't forget that he's a rookie. Rookies aren't going to do everything well, but it's good to hear and it's great to see that VJ Edgecombe defensively is not a concern, because defensively is supposed to be his best talent and his best trait that's going to be NBA ready, which seems like Scouting Report has done its due diligence. Defensively, he is NBA ready, which is everything that you want to see from a rookie, guys. Hopefully, opening night, he can strap up some of the best players, because you know they're going to throw some crazy matchups at him. Maybe guarding Jaylen Brown. Maybe guard Anthony Simons. But guys, how important is this preseason finale? Because you're going to figure out, we're going to see who's guarding who's doing what, because Friday's preseason finale, last preseason game for the Sixers, is supposed to be a dress rehearsal. Nick Nurse says he plans to play all the guys that he wants to play when the season starts and once the regular season's underway. He wants to get those rotations out there on Friday. He wants to see how those players plug and play well with one another. So I expect to see a lot less Hunter Salas, a lot less Kennedy Chandler, apparently a lot more Dominic Barlow. Dominic Barlow, in practice, has been running with the starters. He's been running with Joel. He's been running with Maxey. He's been running with the starters, guys. So Dominic Barlow, who's been starting every preseason game thus far, should probably start in the preseason finale, which is seemed to be the dress rehearsal, which this may go down as one of the most important two-way contracts in two-way history, because I don't remember the last time, guys, a two-way player was projected to start in the preseason and then started during the regular season, potentially playing 25 to 30 minutes. I don't remember the last time a two-way guy was relied on that heavily. But that's how important this preseason dress rehearsal is, because this preseason finale is going to show you who's ready for when the season's ready to start. No McCain, no Embiid, no Paul George, and no Trendon Watford. So the guys that play on Friday are the guys that hopefully play on Wednesday as well. I'm excited to see what Quentin Grimes brings to this squad, because Quentin Grimes may not be a starter for this preseason finale, because if you look at the matchups and how this team is currently constructed, I expect a starting lineup the way they've been producing them of Maxey, Barlow, if Embiid is ready, Embiid or Bona, and then this is where it gets interesting, guys. Kelly Oubre has been having starting jerseys on and bench jerseys on, so I expect Kelly Oubre to be in that starting lineup. And Quentin Grimes has yet to really cement himself in that starting lineup throughout these reps and throughout the practice play. So I expect Quentin Grimes to be a very reliable, a very heavily used sixth man candidate, sixth man of the year potentially. Because on-ball ability and point guard play, I think at this point in his career, you're going to trust Quentin Grimes to be more of an on-ball initiator and on-ball creator than you would a sophomore season, potentially true rookie season, Jared McCain. So when everything's all said and done, and this team does see its full bill of health, I expect Jared McCain to be in the starting lineup before Quentin Grimes, just because of the experience and the knowledge, offensive IQ that Quentin Grimes would bring over, you would expect, a Jared McCain going through a year two, potentially a true year one. But this last game on Friday, guys, is must-see TV, because for everyone outside of Tyrese Maxey, you want to know what they're going to bring. You want to know how good they are and how well and how fast they're picking up this Nick Nurse system. Got to figure that out, guys. Got to figure that out. But what I want you guys to figure out is how to use the like, how to use the comment section, and how to let us know what you're thinking, not only about this squad, but about the conversation this channel's having. This is a channel for the people, brought to you by the people, talking about whatever you people want to see and want to hear, and what you're thinking about in that Philadelphia 76ers locker room. I want to address a few of these crazy commenters, because not only do I like you guys for keeping the conversation going, keeping the conversation flowing, guys, just being honest with what you see out there on the court, not only from this team, but what you hear on this mic from me, guys. I want to talk about Edwin King, who said this best guard group in the NBA is Cap. Edwin King, I think Jared McCain can be Steph Curry. And if you look at the way he plays and look at his ceiling, what do you guys think the ceiling is of Jared McCain? Leave it in the comment section below. What is the ceiling of Jared McCain? Because to me, it is the chef. It is Steph. It is one of the best. I think Jared McCain's got those chops in him. VJ Edgecombe, who seems to be already ready on the defensive end, all he needs to do is pick up his offensive ability and find out where his true spots are, guys. How many real stars do you have on the squad? Quentin Grimes found a way to average 20. Jared McCain finds ways to average 20. Tyrese Maxey could potentially average 30. In the backcourt alone with that guard group, that's three guys who comfortably, I can say, are 20-point players in today's NBA. I'm pretty sure that's one of the best guard groups in the NBA, and I'm not sure who we put over them. I mean, Chris Paul, James Harden, Bradley Beal, but they're older, they're slower, and defensively, I'm going to put VJ Edgecombe, Maxey, and McCain because they have the hunger, they have the want, and they have the young stud hustle over those older players. You guys tell me who you guys think the best guard group is. I saw that one, Edwin King, and I was like, that is tragic. We got Yo Phil, who says Dominic Barlow and Trendon Watford also to that forward depth. Doesn't mean our forwards are weak. Doesn't mean our forward depth is lacking. Me personally, guys, until you see it, you can't believe it. Trendon Watford hasn't stepped on the court. Dominic Barlow's on a two-way contract. Until these guys are converted to standard contracts and have standard playing time with consistent roles, that depth, guys, is not the best and is a question mark for sure, Guys, leave those comments behind, guys, because we read more than a few. We read all of your comments, guys, and tomorrow, guys, is going to be a comment-heavy show, because I did not forget about the crazy things you guys have been leaving behind. Like, comment, and subscribe, guys. Thanks for helping this conversation continue.